Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Hi, we're at Uniconica.
All he wants is high. Doesn't want to pay his bills. He left the gas bill for the last.
Right, and then, yo, Adrian, where's the remote? You know I gotta watch TV.
My name is Elijah Malfitano,
My name is Destiny Tavares.
and we are.
My name is Austin Coates, and I was born in Massachusetts, but I was raised in Rhode Island. Cranston, Pawtucket, Woonsocket, a little bit of all over, except for a little bit of Providence. Some heavy crime levels, like windows getting shot, row houses raided, landlords terrible, living conditions. This is my first time, but I've been homeless for 7 years. It goes better and worse, but it's never really gotten fully better to a healthy living standards. And but fending for myself, I had to be street smart, and I had to couch surf for a couple of years. And one thing led to another, and me coming to this church. After 3.5 years, got housed in a high rise, and then got kicked out for making too many complaints. Having asperger's is a little different. We're highly affected by noise, mental, physical kind of attributes of a shelter. So then I kept on coming in out of shelters.
I'm sure it's been rough.
Make peace with it, but knowing myself is the best way to overcome everything. Is just knowing what you really need, what you want, how to deal with your surroundings. It's always going to be a difficult thing, as it's become more and more popular over Rhode Island. That's the biggest problem of all. What people need is never easy to get, but you have to try to fix the situation best to the standards and try to cope with it as best as possible, and any way possible. Well, with me, my Asperger's and PTSD, I won't work, but I know my stress, what situations stress me out, so I'll walk away from it if I can. And if I have like Asperger's, I have like noise, like I can hear everything a lot louder than everybody else. So the noise is like 10 times stronger for me. So I have to make sure I stay in a quiet environment, block people out, try to remember what Asperger's and what can cause irritation, distractions. That's the biggest thing about Asperger's that makes a big impact on my living situation. My day-to-day is I wake up at 5 o'clock, pack up my tarp, sleeping bag, and I try to make a plan for the day depending on what is open. The church is usually open, and the library is limitation due to the amount of stuff someone has, even if it's only a small amount of things. It's only one bag per person. They don't follow the regular amendments or Bill of Rights or homeless Bill of Rights. They completely disregard it because it's considered private property. But they can't be sued, even though if they treat homeless people terribly, they're protected by the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court allows it to happen. Yeah, so there's more victims coming out of a library than respect is being done. And the homeless Bill of Rights was made separate from the Bill of Rights, so a lot of impact that on the homelessness and the stress of the homelessness. And they pick and choose, and they watch on purpose to see if they can kick them out. And that's why there's no homelessness in the Providence Library.
The Providence Public Library.
Yeah, there's no homelessness in there, homeless people in there, because they look for a reason to try to kick them out on purpose. The homeless Bill of Rights is supposed to be for they can use water, not be harassed by security guards at work, police, be treated equal by no discrimination of class. They're supposed to be a stress-free, no harassment type of stuff, and they're supposed to have the same rights and consideration of others. Homeless people are just even couch surfing is considered homelessness. So probably more people they didn't even know that was homeless would be couch surfing, but they treat with respect where homeless people aren't being treated with respect because they have one or maybe an extra bag. but they don't have drugs or alcohol or have criminal records, but they still get the same vote as homelessness, which isn't fair. Because everything is choice. You have 1, 2 choices, maybe more than others. But still, they get treated just the same way or lesser. There should be, but there isn't. And I personally had to fight for the Amtrak and had to tell them that the Amtrak was federally owned since 1870. And they kept on fighting about it, trying to kick me out. But it's just such a big problem, and the attention and the discrimination in people's eyes and body language, that it's just not worth staying in public places like that. But I had to fight for that. The homeless bill of rights are not recognized whatsoever, not by class, not by people. They look to see if anyone's getting water from the bathroom. You can't brush your teeth in there. So a lot of people who are missing teeth is because they can't brush their teeth, where the church is the only place I can brush my teeth. So it's a big problem. And there's a large capacity of people who are trying to keep their teeth, and they can't even do that because of the homeless bill of rights is not worded properly to protect the homeless. And it's very vague and too vague. It has to be rewritten to more strenuous detail, to the point where homeless is treated like civilians. They shouldn't even, they need to put it more straightforward so the police can respect it as much as the mayor and everybody else, federally, not just government. I would suggest if you don't speak your rights and the homeless bill of rights, they won't be recognized. Don't be afraid they'll use your freedom of speech, the amendments. They can't take that away unless you don't use it. Then they feel like they can violate it. It's good to research this on your own, because if you don't have the tools or the knowledge is a tool. So if you don't know your bill of rights, your homeless bill of rights, your amendments, and know when you're right or wrong, and you can't tell the police off, you have to remember that you're a civilian regardless in this country, whether you're past or present or even possible future. The library, you can go to court, or you can ask a case manager. You can look up all the amendments on the computers, the library, even asking a Kevin, the church, he knows a lot about it.
And you do too.
I had to research it because once I researched homelessness, I had to learn everything about it. So that I know what situations I was going to run into, like no tents up during city ordinance during the day, but you can put it at nighttime. It's a lot harder to not be stationed, and that's the reason why they get away with taking down people's tents, is because it's considered stationed. So if you take it on the go, it's not considered a violation. They don't bother you as much. Especially keeping clean shaved, you look younger than you are. You can get away with the homelessness. They would think twice about judging people. I was I was near Walmart at the time, and they were burning tents after I left. Some other people targeting tents, and they were raiding, cutting them up with a saw, destroying people's stuff. Mayor Smiley hasn't done anything that he was supposed to do. And I've seen homeless people being harassed all the time, going through bags, violating the zipper amendment, just in public when they have no warrant. And they get away with it just because someone who has been to prison, or they have the drug references. I've seen a young kid who has been discriminated against in Oneyville, over there, just because he was trying to reach up a star and they couldn't. And he was illegally searched without any cause. Yeah, the one thing when trying to face police officers is, am I detained? If they can't give you a reason about lawfully detaining somebody, then they can't harass any homeless people. That is the one way, unless they really have a reason to particulate a reason for detaining somebody. That's when you can now just walk away, or if they don't have the reason to detain you, then that's how you can get away with it, and they can't harass you any further. That's always one that say, am I being detained? What reason am I detaining? If they can't give you a reason, then you're not being detained. You then have no reason to detain. That's another thing that I want for all homeless people to understand, because police officers do that. They try to detain somebody and think they're detained when they're detained when they're not. Politicians really need to focus, if they care about their career that much and about the State House to making a future, they should really focus on the housing, no more shelters. They shouldn't be worrying about that because the shelters is not, it's a small fix. The problem is the housing, mini homes, where they be built. Can you find landlords like trailer homes to put those mini homes on? That would be a big investment in order to be able to fix a lot of problems. They made it legal in Rhode Island and Massachusetts to do that now. And they've been fighting this for years and years, but who's building the small mini houses? That would fix a lot of homeless issues. They have their own place, their own bathroom built into the cities. That would fix a lot of things. Turn the school bus, old school buses in the scrapyards, turning into apartments. Using oil rigs. They made those into apartments years and years ago. They did one over by the highway, you can see it. And it's a complete easy fix. You just put a bunch of sheet metal and then put carpentry in it. You already have your foundation, your base. There's plenty of ways to do it. You just gotta use what we haven't touched yet and then making it something. There's no excuse for not allowing houses to be built. Homeless is not a investment. Well, people are people. The people govern the government. It's in the Constitutional Declaration. Well, for people being housed, it's absolutely unacceptable. There's no excuse for it. It's just laziness, and we're not profit. We're not sheep. They can't just move us around and own us like we're items. It's not okay, and people run this country. They built this country, not the politicians, not the rich people. Providence, the people judge on what they think they know, but they don't know anything. You can't judge on someone's situation and expect to know all the details. You can wonder, but how would you know if you don't ask? You can try to understand, but at the same time, everything is expensive. People who are couch surfing, they're considered homeless too. So before judging somebody, based on, you should look at their clothes, how they act, how they perceive themselves. Can they be civilized? Give them a chance, but at the same time, don't turn away just because of past history when it could be a one-time thing. There's more people that are considered homeless that have houses, and apartments are highly unlivable if nothing is being fixed. So Providence people and Rhode Island residents really need to give people a chance, because not everything as it seems, and people don't know what could happen behind the curtain when they least expect it. I'm grateful just for having the peace of mind, for living healthily, be able to meet new people. I've met new people on a journey of homelessness that I do meet on a regular basis, and people surrounded that are good, decent, all kinds of people, things you wouldn't expect, people's stories. It makes me more wondrous than before, and it's less stressful to be on the streets due to the problems that homeless people have. So it kind of opened my mind, and after COVID, a lot of people's minds got opened up. But the homeless issue stays the same because people still are not open-minded. But homelessness opened to people with no experiences, and you can learn a lot from homeless people more than people are working if they just get the chance to.
I gotta watch TV, you know? Right? And then, yo, Adrian, where's the remote? You know I gotta watch TV. And that's that gag, too. But can I say this? This is what I feel is, especially with the behavior of these folks.